Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I really wanted to talk about the middle class and why the middle class is dying. So this is a serious topic, and a lot of people should be in uproar about this, but because you may lack the information or the knowledge, you're not understanding what is truly going on with our government today. So when interest rates were at a pandemic low and nearly at 0%, I was able to not refinance, but purchase properties at less than 3% interest rates. Businesses were refinancing for less than 3% interest rates. And all these businesses, we were taking on long term debt because we knew that our incomes would not only increase, but that this would be significantly below inflation. And so now you see the government trying to get our our inflationary rate below 2% because that's the only way to kind of match or be even kill with where some um, loans are right now in today's time. The problem is that when the government was taking out debt, they were taking out short term debt. Their short term debt was 1 year and 2 years and maybe even 5 years at the longest. They weren't taking out 10-year loans and debt services. So now their debts are coming due and they have to service all of these debts at the higher interest rate of nearly 8%. And so what is going to happen now is that with the Fed having rates at 5.5% at the time of me recording this video, how are the governments going to pay this back when they had the assumption that they would be at 0, 2, 1, even 3% interest rates? So in Q4, the government had taken out well over $700 million in loan repayments. And now in Q1, they're expected to have to pay back over $800 million in loan repayments. You see, it's only a matter of time before that amount, and I expect by Q3 of 2024 that they're paying back up to 1 billion in loan repayments. You see, now people have been getting an increase in their raises, right? It was a booming economy, a booming job market, and so we had a lot of people gaining wealth. And because of that, they're going to pay more in taxes. You see, the more money you earn from a W 2 job and not from a business, you will definitely be subject to more and more taxes the higher you climb. And this is why our middle class will go extinct. Because not only are you already paying 25, 35% on your money, but I do believe that the government will have to increase the amount that they take from the everyday working class. The reason for this is because billionaires and millionaires pay the government every single year. They bribe presidents every single year. When going up for re-election, they donate hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars every single year to have presidents on their behalf ensure that there are loopholes available to them in the business class to where they're not paying these debts. In fact, they're paying absolutely nothing. And every government agency, every president that runs for re-election is paying close to absolutely nothing in taxes. That's why Donald Trump didn't want the $400,000 salary because it was useless to him. It would mean that he would have to pay more taxes than he ever had to pay in his entire life. Why would he want a salary? So everyone was applauding it, but honestly, it was a strategic move in order to not pay taxes. And he ended up paying less than $700 in taxes that year. So again, there is no president in the history of America that is paying taxes. As much as they say they're going to tax the rich and not tax the poor, we all know you can increase the taxes on the rich to 100%, they're not even paying themselves with actual wages. They'll pay themselves through stocks. They'll pay themselves through a refinanced property. They'll pay themselves through a business. You can literally buy a house with your business, refinance it with debt. That debt from a bank, you won't pay any taxes on it. This is the type of game that I'm trying to teach you all. Like, if I use my business right now and buy $1 million property, I refinance 75% out of it. That's $750,000. I pay myself that $750,000, and then I pay off the loan with my business. I can use the $750,000 for whatever I want and pay zero taxes on it. But somebody else working, making $200,000 a year or even $50,000 a year will pay more taxes than I do. So you can only imagine that when interest rates were at 0%, 2%, 1%, what that did to those who were already rich. They probably refinanced everything. They will never have to refinance again in their lifetime, especially if they were buying up housing, especially if they were taking houses on 30-year loans or even 45-year loans that some government entities are trying to put in place now. For a poor person, that is a horrible idea to get a 45-year loan. For a rich person, it is just a strategy. It is just another wrinkle in the system that they can take advantage of. And so again, I'm giving you knowledge that nobody else wants to give you. I'm giving you game that nobody else wants to give you. Do I take advantage of these things too? Absolutely. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I don't take advantage of these things. I have a business and I will use it to my advantage just like every other person does. Within the law, of course, right? We're not going to deviate from the laws that be. But again, we're going to do everything in our power to be just as rich and just as wealthy. And so if you're watching this channel, it's because you want the same outcome. It's not because you want to live like everybody else. It's because you want a life worth living and you want to have the best outcomes possible in your one life that you live. And so if you can decide to not pay $20,000 and in fact maybe even get money back, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Instead of me paying the government in 2022 about $6,000, I decided to put it into renovations in my business, which means I paid absolutely nothing. In fact, I got money back. These are the type of strategies that you can implement that not only improve the business, because that's why they give you these write-offs, is to improve the business, but to also ensure that your money is going to things that actually benefit you. Like, I can literally determine that this money will go to what benefits me and not to just some foreign country to aid in war. I determine where my money goes. I think that is a beautiful thing. I think everyone should have that power. If you want to donate, you should donate. If you want to invest in things that matter to you, you should do that. But when we have the entire world basically saying, I don't know where my money is being spent, that is a horrible thing. And so I'm not here to be a puppet. I am not here to make 6 figures a year with a W-2 income and think that I'm actually living life. Come back home, you're only making $70,000 net. Asking where'd the money go? I thought I made 6 figures. I thought I made $100,000. You don't. Doctors are now making over $200,000 a year. After student loan repayments, a minimum of $27,000 a year, they're earning close to $138,000 a year. think I calculated it the other day. It might have been 108,000. So within 108,000 to 138,000. Let's use that ballpark. So essentially, they're paying at least a minimum $62,000 in either taxes or debt repayments out of that 200,000. Someone who owns a business and pays themselves about 120,000 tax free will easily earn more than a doctor making 200,000 a year. Just 120 tax free. In some instances, you can make 90,000 tax free, less than six figures, and make more than a doctor. So again, this is why the middle class is becoming extinct. And not only because of that, is because I also believe that with the government having increasing payments every single quarter, there's only two options. You have to cut back spending. They already say that Social Security will be insolvent in 2035. They already are thinking about cutting disability checks, all those other entitlement programs that we have in America today. But most importantly, they are also thinking about raising taxes. Every single election, we hear tax the rich, increase taxes on the rich. But honestly, we haven't solved the root cause of the problem. The more money the government makes, the more money the government spends. In fact, they're incentivized to spend more money. They're incentivized to spend all their money so that they can have the same budget that they had last year. They did a bad job by not increasing their loan limits and doing 10-year loans on lower and cheaper interest rates. Now, instead, they're going to have to pay back debts on significantly higher interest rates, over 5.5%. Because of this, the American people, the everyday working class, will suffer. This is not a question of when, of who, but when they will suffer. Because again, the middle class will definitely suffer. The poor will also suffer. The middle class has been financing everyone's lives since the beginning of taxes, and it will continue to be like that. And soon the middle class will be the poor class as well. I cannot see us going into 2040 without this being the case. I cannot see us going into 2040 without us being the case, because I don't see why the government is still incentivizing people to spend as much money as possible in order to keep their same budgets. They should spend less. In fact, they should cut all those budgets by 25%, each and every single one outside of the military. By reducing those budgets, you'll actually start to see more efficiency. I actually think that the economy would be better and more efficient because of it. More work would be done because of it. Inflation would actually decrease because of it. A lot of things will start to shift and take form because of it. There will be less spending for unnecessary reasons and more going to important things. You're going to see less things that don't matter, more simplicity, more things that actually work, more effort being put into things that matter, solving problems, solving issues. But throwing money at something just allows for more creativity, sure, in certain sectors, in certain ways, but for less actual focus, less direction. And tell me what you think should be going on. Tell me what you think should be happening. How is the government going to pay back their debts? Do you think that they're going to raise taxes? Do you think they're going to cut and limit spending for the first time in their entire lives? Seriously, not just for a short time and then they open up the floodgates again. What do you think is truly going to happen with our economy? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.